Hello everyone, welcome to my session on Cyber Back to School. This is a great initiative by Dwayne Notwick in the month of October, which is Cyber Security Awareness Month as well. For more information on Cyber Back to School initiative, you can check out this website here, cyberbacktoschool.com. You can see all the sessions and speakers for 2024. Let's just click on the session and let me search myself for the session I'm going to present. I'm going to present on Microsoft Copilot for Security. Let's get back to our slide deck to understand more on it. To start with, a little bit introduction on myself. My name is Vipul. I'm working as Microsoft Cloud Security Practitioner with specialization in Microsoft Sentinel, Defender for Cloud, Copilot for Security. For my contribution in cybersecurity, I've won a couple of awards ranging from RISE Awards, which is internal, and then besides Bangalore Cybersecurity Rising Award from besides which in the local chapter of Bangalore, right? Apart from that, I'm a course reviewer and content creator in EC Council and Udemy. I tend to write blogs on Microsoft Tech community for various learnings I have across my projects and hackathons, etc., so as to reach to broader audience. And Microsoft certifications are key for my learnings. So I'm as of now 6x certified, ranging certifications in AZ900, AZ500, SC200, SC300, etc. Let's start on our with the very first meme. Actually, the conversation between a junior security analyst and a senior security analyst, right? So junior security analyst is asking, well, Copilot for security help us handle all the alerts and threats. So senior security analyst replies, it won't just help us, it is our new partner in finding threats faster and smarter. So it will not just help, it will help us to fight the threats faster and smartly. So with that context in our mind, we need to set the context. Whenever it's an AI discussion, make sure that you set the right context, correct? So we are setting the context for Microsoft Copilot for security in those lines, and let's proceed further. The very first thing is that we need to understand what exactly is Copilot for security. So basically, it's an AI-powered tool which is designed to assist security professionals by providing insights, automation, and recommendations to enhance an organization's cybersecurity posture. So the core agenda here is to improve the cybersecurity posture using or leveraging AI. When we leverage AI, we are actually leveraging large language models that are basically trained on huge amount of data. When I say it's Copilot for security, it will be trained on security related data. Why? Because we need to take actions in terms of detections, response, and prevention of the cyber threats which are happening in our infrastructure, right? Now, by analyzing vast amount of data from multiple security tools and environment, it supports security teams in their decision making. So, one thing is clear here is there the Copilot for security is not centered around one security solution. It is centered across multiple security solutions which are native to Microsoft or maybe third party. The key reason for that larger the domain it is exposed to, larger would be its assessments, and based on that assessment, it will be able to guide us better for the current incident or alerts in place, right? With that, we come to the next slide, which focuses on why we need Copilot for security. This is very important because Copilot for security is needed to address the modern cybersecurity challenges which are powered by AI. I mean, when we say challenges powered by AI, means the other side of the cybersecurity, which is the adversarial tactics and techniques. They also started leveraging AI, and we need to counter them. For countering them, we need a AI-powered solution. So, Copilot for security is one such live example, which is powered by AI, right? So that is why it is important to address the AI adversarial attacks, handling complexity and volume of threats, which are ever rising and ever getting complex as well. So with increasing number of cyber attacks and complex threat vectors, security teams face overwhelming amount of data. Copilot for security can sift through this vast amount of security data and detect anomalies and prioritize incident, enabling team to focus on critical tasks, right? So it is going to save the time for the security teams, which they take to analyze, right? So the analysis part, summarization part, what to response part are the key places where Copilot for security is going to help them, which otherwise they need to do manually, right? As of the current scenario, they are not AI powered, right? Now, enhancing threat detection response. AI-powered tools like Copilot for Security use advanced analytics and machine learning to improve threat detections. They correlate data from different sources. These are the same sources which are other security solutions, right? Reducing false positive and speeding up the response process by suggesting automated action. Now, this is very important. Improved incident response. This is the key part where which comes once the initial screening of the incident is done right. Copilot can streamline incident response by providing contextual recommendations based on historical data, threat intelligence, and attack patterns. It helps identify root cause, speeds up remediation, and support more effective crisis management. Support for security operations center teams. Security operations teams are often overwhelmed by the alerts and data streams. Copilot for Security provides natural language assistance, helping analysts understand incident, create report, and generate playbook. So these are all the things where it is going to help the security operations center teams, right? And it does support the integration of other security solutions like Microsoft Sentinel, Defender XDR, third-party plugins, right? It uses third-party plugins to integrate with third-party solutions, so that is very key. And this integration is really very important so that Copilot can provide its input to those security solutions as well as get data from it for its own learning, right? So this is a live model that learns also, right? It's just not like it's going to help us without any consumption. It consumes the knowledge which we are going to feed, and it improves as well for the next response which is going to generate, right? With that thing in mind, the next slide is focusing on the key features which are common across wherever the implementation is or whatever the integration of Copilot for Security is. So very first thing is incident summarization. Whenever you tend to visit this incident page, you see huge amount or vast amount of data on the screen ranging from entities, assignments, and all those key details which are available on the incident visualization or investigation page. You see huge amount of data, but with that you will not be able to draw directly what is the key area getting affected with that particular incident in place, right? And that's why you're not able to prioritize it as well. That affects the prioritization as well. So Copilot for Security helps us to summarize as well as prioritize the incident which we should be focusing on based on the attack surface it is going to target. Attack surface reduction is one thing, but which incident is going to attack which particular or domain we need to focus, and that comes with the summarization. So that summarization is done by Copilot for Security only. It also analyzes the impact which an incident is going to have, and that's how it prioritizes it. So this is very important. It provides insight into the potential impact of security incidents, helping teams prioritize their response efforts effectively. Reverse engineering of scripts. So Copilot assists in understanding and analyzing scripts which can be crucial for identifying malicious effects or activities. So basically, if you want to reverse engineering script, that also is supported here. Guided response is one of the attributes which we will observe in the XDR portal demo. Basically, it tends to guide us how it how we can respond from the input which Copilot for Security gives, right? It provides us with input to respond to a particular incident and that we can follow, or that a security operation analyst can follow, right? Now, natural language interaction. You can ask Copilot questions in natural language and it will provide actionable response related to security and IT tasks. So that natural language interaction is very important and it does helps us in multitude of ways. We can speak to a AI based engine or Copilot for Security in a natural language as if we are speaking to a peer, and that's where things get easy for us to understand and respond better for the threats or incidents in place, right? And the other key feature of Copilot Security is that it supports integration with other Microsoft products, which are native as well as third party as well. That integration is also possible. So to name few of the products which Copilot for Security support is Microsoft Sentinel, Defender XDR, Microsoft Intune, Defender Threat Intelligence, Microsoft Entra, Purview. So in our demo, I have covered Sentinel integration, Defender integration, and Entra as well. So we'll see. I have to exhibit few data as well, which I will show you how it works, the guided response part, and the Sentinel integration part, etc. So let's proceed further. So this slide is very important because it highlights how we can interact with Copilot for Security. What are the different modes of interaction or the experiences which Copilot has to offer to us, right? One is the embedded experience, which the name itself indicates like accessing Copilot for Security in other Microsoft security products. So, for example, the one which we just saw, the other Microsoft security products like XDR, Entra, right? Intune. If we are accessing Copilot for security within their portal, then it is referred to as an embedded experience, right? The standalone experience is nothing but a separate portal dedicated for Copilot for security. It has its own domain like securitycopilot.microsoft.com. If we tend to visit that portal, integrate the other security product into it, then try to analyze an incident or threat from that particular security solution, then it is referred to as standalone experience. So with that, let's just get to see a high level overview or high level diagram which we can exhibit. So for our use case, to understand things better, I have created a subscription. With that, I have security resource group or basically a security subscription which have security resource group where we have couple of resources deployed. As I'm covering Sentinel in it, so I have a log analytics workspace. I have onboarded my Microsoft Sentinel onto this workspace. I'll walk you through the log analytics workspace and the Sentinel onboarding, right? Apart from that, I have a security computer. This is very important component. Whenever there's a discussion associated with Copilot for security, we need to focus on this security computing. Basically, it's a compute unit that is going to address or process all the Copilot for security related workloads. Copilot for security related workload includes prompt processing, prompt book processing, and of all the analysis, right? It does to help us to help us analyze the incident, and whatever task which you do, it all requires processing power. So that processing power comes from security compute unit. That is the key attribute. So this is very important. So beyond this subscription, if we go, we see Microsoft Defender XDR that inclusive of all the security solutions which Microsoft has to offer, like Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Identity, Defender for Cloud Apps, Defender for Office 365, and our own Sentinel and Defender for Cloud. So all are inclusive in Defender XDR only. So when this compute unit is important here, and embedded experience means I'm going to leverage my Copilot as part of Defender XDR portal only. That security.microsoft.com will open our XDR portal, and in that portal, when I'm navigating to a particular incident, there itself it will in the sidebar it will automatically open Copilot, provided we have the security compute unit in place. Then only it will automatically detect it. Otherwise, it will keep it remain, and that expects us to analyze everything from scratch without any AI powered scenario, right? On the other hand, for standalone experience as well, we need security compute. So, irrespective of the experience, we need security compute in it. That is important. We'll understand more what exactly is security compute in the upcoming slide, by the way. But standalone experience is the one where we need to go to this dedicated portal like securitycopilot.microsoft.com, and there we'll understand how we can integrate Sentinel with it, and we'll analyze one incident which is part of the Sentinel as of now, right? I have created a couple of incidents here which we'll analyze here. So I'll just give you a walkthrough of the prompt book, and that's how it work out, right? So let me just take you to my very next slide, which is focusing on security computing, because this is heart and soul of Copilot for security, right? So Copilot for security pricing is consumption based and cost approximately $4 per SCU per hour. So that means $4 per security capacity unit or compute unit per hour. That's the cost which we need to bear if we plan to spin this machine, right? So a security compute unit is a Copilot security unit of measurement of computing. So there should be some compute capacity which is there, right? So that SCU is the compute capacity, the measurement of compute capacity which Copilot for security requires, right? Or need to run its Copilot workload. When I say workload means processing of prompt books, whatever analysis we need to do for the instance sets, that's all come under the workload part, Copilot workload part. Now the amount of SCU needed depends on the complexity of the given workload. As complex it is going to, or it is going to consume more resource, then we need to increase the SCU unit. If it works, that works. Otherwise, if you tend to increase that, right? Now, irrespective of the deployment or experience, standalone or embedded, the cost will remain same only, because that doesn't make any difference in the cost aspect, right? Neither only just the variation in the experience, right? Now, I have captured this GitHub link which you can check out. For Go for security, you can go through this and it will guide you about the pricing and other important aspects, right? How does it work and how to execute it possible. So now let's go and create a security compute unit in our environment. So I'll just take you to my Azure portal here. Let me just give a quick refresh to my portal and let's try to understand how we can create a security compute. So on the global search here, you need to search security. So you see Microsoft Copilot for security compute capacities. That's the very first option. And you see I don't have any security compute capacity as of now. So I'll just tend to create. That's the first demo or first hands-on access for you to do. Even if you have any trial, you can try immediately that. So I'll just give my capacity name security Copilot, right? Let's your region be the one which is available by default. Although it offers four regions: Australia, Europe, UK, US. So we'll choose US there. And let we will start with one capacity unit per hour. And if we feel like we can increase it, but make sure that cost is critical here. So ensure if it is required, then only you need to spin a new SCU or increase the unit in the existing SCU. So that's always we can do once the resource is deployed, right? The increasing part of the SU or the capacity we can do always. But this is a prerequisite for us to for the Copilot for security. This is key. So this is our current deployment area. Deployment says that my resource is deployed, but there's still one more step I need to follow. So finish setup in Copilot for security. So I'll just click on this. Either you can come to this portal here. So as you come on the overview page, you see the key details of the resource group, the geolocation where we have spent the resource, right? Activity log is something what we can export to our Sentinel for analysis, right? This is activity for this particular resource. Access control, you can check what are the to whom you want to give access to, right? And then we have update option, which will help us to update the compute capacities if required. Any we can provide two, three, four, whatever it is. We'll show you the cost as well, right? Now let's get to overview page. You see like there's one more step which is required to be completed, which is the initial setup. So as I click on this thing, it takes us to a new portal. That portal is securitycopilot.microsoft.com. So as I've discussed in my slide deck, this is the standalone experience for our Copilot for security. This is a dedicated portal for Copilot for security. This is the same portal which you need to share in case if your client is tend to leverage Copilot security, right? So here it is asking us to complete the step. It is trying to connect our Copilot capacity with this particular portal, right? So I'll just apply security Copilot. Will just give me that value in the domain in the drop down. Sorry, security Copilot. I'll just apply it. So let's just click on done. So that's done. Now, as you scroll it down, you see how can a Copilot for security help. So you see there are prompts, and if I just run one single prompt, like in detail, provide me details of particular incident from Sentinel, right? So as I'm writing from Sentinel, that means I need to integrate Sentinel first, right? For that part, you need to come here. This is prompt part, this is our sources. So for sources, you see we have Microsoft native sources, we have non-Microsoft sources. So as you expand it further, you see we have nine more apart from Azure Firewall, WAF, Defender External, Attack Surface Management, XDR, Entra, Intune. These are all the sources where we can do the integration. I do say Sentinel here, so I'll just click on here and it will populate my CFS launch, subscription, other things, right? So I cannot save it because it's already populated, right? So that's fine. So for example, my Sentinel is there. So what I'll do, I'll just run. I'll try to see few of the incidents which my Sentinel is having. Sorry, I forgot to walk you through my Sentinel interface, right? So I'll just quickly give you a walkthrough of my Sentinel deployment in place. So for that, I already have a resource in place which goes with name log analytics workspace. So there's we have CFS law. So this is my log analytics workspace, and I've created this first as a resource. Then I've onboarded my Microsoft Sentinel on top of this particular log analytics workspace. That's why it has been named as log analytics workspace itself, right? CFS log. Now I have few of the incidents here like this incident. NRT security event. If I just increase the timestamp to like 7 days, it will show me previous events. So like I failed login attempt to Azure portal. I have NRT security event. This basically is a near real time security event log here. So if there's any security event being cleared from my machine, I'll just give you. I have this Windows machine here, and I have like 105 events. So if I tend to delete any security event like using clear log, it will generate a special event that goes with this event ID 1102. So it will try to detect it in the real time like that. Why it is detecting? Because I have an analytical rule here. NRT security event log cleared. So whenever there's an event ID getting generated, I will get that as an incident here by virtue of this analytical rule in place. I've already onboarded that machine on my Sentinel using AMA agent for Windows, and you can also see that I'm getting heartbeat from that machine, by the way. So I'll just run this to see if there's any heartbeat from that machine. Indeed, it is. So 1371 12225, 1371 122. Okay. So that's how my machine is integrated. So let me just take you to my incident page. So I'll take this incident number 2, right? So let me just take you to my standalone place, and I'll run a prompt book. I'll choose this prompt book. You can see all the prompt books. Prompt book is nothing but when you tend to write multiple prompts in a defined order. What is the final output you need? What is the initial prompt, the last prompt? And if you have all the clubbed together, it will become a prompt book. You can see all the prompt books like this, and these are the current prompt books. So I'll just choose this one, Microsoft Sentinel Incident Investigation, as my prompt book. And as you see, it is looking for incident ID. So as I see here, the incident ID is 2. As I want to focus more on the failed login attempts for Azure portal, so I'll just give 2 here, and I'll submit this. As soon as I submit, it will pop up and indicate that this prompt book started running. This is the name of the prompt book, and it is one by one start processing our prompt. So meanwhile, it is doing the processing. Let's get back to our slide deck. So in from this particular lab, I have walked you through the log analytics workspace, Sentinel, the incident I have generated, how that incident is generated by virtue of the analytical rule, and what is the resource, the Windows machine, which I have shown you. Now I am analyzing that incident in my security Copilot standalone experience. For that, I have integrated it with Sentinel using the workspace reference, resource group reference, and subscription reference, right? So that is our standalone experience. So let me get back to my slide deck again. Now let's focus on few of the other use cases which are very prominent and very hot when we consider Copilot for security. So the very first is like triaging of incident. It can help us to triage the incident. It can investigate the malicious steps, the reverse engineering aspect of step. Then advanced hunting, it can help us, right? We have anti rules for that. If you want to do any live hunting, it can create a hypothesis for you which you can leverage. It can summarize an incident that we discussed as a key feature. Guided response is another key feature. So if I just tend to guide you for the summarization part as well as the user guide. So just open this. These are basically the documentation reference, official Microsoft documentation reference which you can leverage. So summarize an incident with Defender Copilot, with Microsoft Copilot and Microsoft Defender, which is pointing to Defender XDR. So I'll just take you to Defender XDR. So summarize an incident. Suppose there is an incident that contains 100 alerts. Basically, an incident is nothing but is a combination of alerts. can be summarized into one incident summary. An incident summary, depending on availability of the data, including the following: time and date, entity or assets, summary of timelines of attack unfolded, the asset involved in the attack, IOCs if any, and name of the threat actors which are involved, right? This is what the summary comprises of. It can provide us a summary, but what would be the part of summary? This would be the part. If there are 100 alerts, you don't need to go through all the 100 alerts. You need to check the summary which is generated by Copilot for security and take a next action step on top of that, right? Otherwise, you will be ending up analyzing all the 100 alerts uh, to draw something out of it, right? Meaningful. So I'll just take you to my portal here and open up my security at Microsoft.com. So this is my Defender XDR portal. A brief intro on Defender XDR is nothing but like it's an umbrella of all the security solutions which Microsoft has to offer. For example, MDTI is threat intelligence, asset is devices, MD, Sentinel, Defender for identities, Microsoft Defender for endpoint, email collaboration, MDO, and cloud as Microsoft Cloud App Security. These are the solutions, right? Now, if you tend to come here on the exposure management, under investigation response, you see incidents and alerts. That means all incidents from all the products will be visible under this place. Like all MDI, MD, Sentinel, MDC, etc. all will be visible here. So for last 1 day, it doesn't show me anything. Like if I just expand the window for last 6 months, let me just open this microburst. The key thing is to observe Copilot information. See, we see Copilot here, automatically it is coming, but the prerequisite to is to have a security compute capacity, then only it will show us. So that is prevalent from the document as well, if you see here. So just open the incident page. Copilot automatically creates an incident summary upon opening the page. You can stop, but for this automatic creation of incident summary by Copilot requires the SCU in place. If SCU is not in place, then it will not generate anything, right? So that is the key, and that's how it shows. So this is the same thing which we are observing on our XDR portal as well. We see Copilot incident summary. So if I just get back to my portal here, it is showing me the incident summary for microburst exploitation. The high severity incident sample alert Microsoft used to extract keys to your storage account occurred on this date. This time slot. The incident was tagged as a collection. This incident impacted no specific users or device were mentioned, right? Like that. So this summarization is important for me at a very first set as a analyst. This is important. Similarly, if I see use guided response in Defender XDR, just click on it. You will reach to this page where it will guide how to triage and investigate and get the guided response, right? Apply guided response to resolve. So guided response recommend actions, triaging, containment, investigation, remediation. It is also available in standalone experience as well as in the embedded experience. So we will observe it in the embedded one. Open the incident page. Copilot automatically generates the guide response upon opening the incident page. The Copilot pane appears on the right side. So if we let me just take you to this place. So on the right side, we just below incident summary, we have guided response here, right? So that's the same thing which it is pointing out to. So basically, it will guide how to respond to this particular incident or alert in place. Mostly the incident, right? Because incident comprises of multiple alerts. So it will guide us like this. For me, there's no guidance because these alerts or incidents are sample ones. So there's not much data around. But for a real incident, we'll get good amount of response, guided response from Copilot for security. That's how it works. Similarly, if I see any other security solutions like, and for example, this Entra ID, respond to identity threats in Entra. So let me just take you to this page. You can explore all of them once you have your own security compute unit in place. And other thing is that whatever solutions I'm discussing as of now, the XDR, guided response, incident summary in XDR, and now the identity threat using risk keys, user summarization in Entra. They are all embedded experiences from Copilot for security, correct? So here it is trying to give me more data on the risky user summarization. It will give me information for the risky user. So I don't have any risky user, but still I can navigate to the Entra admin center, right? So I'll just open this in new tab. I'll copy this URL here. Just open it up here. Hmm. So it asks us to navigate to a particular protection and identity protection to check the risky users, right? To just navigate to it. I don't have any risky user as of now, but I want you to visualize it through the actual tools perspective, the embedded experience, how it works, right? So this is our Entra admin portal. I'll just go to protection and I see identity protection here, right? You see under report we have risk user. Although I don't have any risk user, but in case if I have, for example, in this uh, page we have like in the identity protection. If I just expand this window, I have identity protection, risk users, and Giovanna Costa is one of the risk user in their environment. So in the risk user detail window, information appears. That if you check the detailed window here, you will see summary. This summary is generated by Copilot for security. Again, it is powered by the security computing in place, right? So it will give us details like user Giovanna Costa has one recent risky activity with high risk. The risk detection type is Microsoft Entra Threat Intelligence. Then Microsoft Entra Threat Intelligence indicates user activity that is unusual for the user or consistent with known attack pattern. This is an attack pattern. Whatever the risk associated is inconsistent with the attack pattern prominent. So this detection is based on Microsoft internal and external TI solution. So risky user sign in with high risk level. On this date for resource this portal sign up IP is this and location was Redmond, Washington, US. The IPS and location browser. So this is the detail which is generated by Copilot for security. So I hope you got a good understanding of the embedded experience. With that, let me just take you to the next slide. So the standard experience, yes. So let's get back to our standalone experience where we were analyzing our Sentinel incident, right? So I've ran a prompt book if you recollect. So the very first thing it is checking is chose incident analysis, process your request. So the very first is summarize Sentinel incident number two. So incident number two is around failed login attempt to Azure portal. As we know, that's fine. That's correct. And the incident identify failed login attempts in the Microsoft Entra ID sign-in logs to the Azure portal. Many failed logon attempts or some failed logons. So that's our details. So just see the severity which is low, status is new, and you can also reach to this incident page from here. It will take you to the central incident only, like this. Okay, and then tell me about the entities associated. So if I just need to check entities here, the key entities which are listed like two entities, my admin URL, admin email address, and the IP address, right? Tell me about the entities associated with that central incident. So these are the entities associated. Display name, friendly name, IP addresses, right? So it is fetching it appropriately. Now I want to check the reputation score of the IP version 4 which is part of the entity. This is key. And how it is analyzing or how it is providing that score, because we have integration of our own solution which is MDTI, Microsoft Defender for Threat Intel. If you see under source, if you just expand this, you see Microsoft Threat Intelligence. So by virtue of this threat intelligence solution, it is going to provide me the reputation score for the IP in use, which is spitted out as a IP from this particular analytical rule, right? So it tries, it indicates that the score is 73 and it is classified as suspicious only. Now, based on this information from the threat intelligence, you can take an action. If you prefer to if you prefer to block it at a firewall level, then you can add this as a name location and eventually block it at a firewall so that no traffic request comes from it because it is identified as a suspicious IP address from the threat intelligence, right? Like that. So you can take action. That those actions also can be achieved using this Copilot for security. You can ask this IP to be added as a name location. So it will create a new name location in our enter ID and add this IP there and eventually use this as a name location. So these are all the prompts like take this IP addresses, add it to a name location, create a name location, add that IP address to a name location, three prompts. Then use that name location at the firewall level to block the traffic from that name location. So this is a fourth and fifth step eventually. So we need to connect or integrate Azure Firewall as well. Let's see if Azure Firewall is supported. Yeah, Azure Firewall integration is supported. So that's how we can leverage multiple security solutions. So all of this you can do from this single pane of glass of Copilot for security. Now the next prompt in the part of the prompt book is the authentication method setup for each user involved in that Sentinel incident, especially indicate whether they have MFA enabled. So I don't think we have MFA enabled here. Yeah, it is enabled. It is enabled. So it is asking whether user who tried to log in who has a failed login whether MFA is enabled or not. So it's yes. Then it is now trying to probe. First it probed the identity. Now it is trying to probe the devices whether device is Intune enrolled or not. So device is not Intune enrolled. So Intune is not managing this device. Now if any device are listed in the previous output of Sentinel incident, show details from. So this is a prompt. Details from Intune. So it is not Intune, so it will not be able to show us much detail from the Intune aspect, right? So basically, I'm trying right now trying to write an executive summary or report to summarize this investigation. So all that we have investigated, identify the IP addresses, the MDTI integration to check the or verify the IP suspiciousness, right? We are writing a executive summary. Description, severity low, status no, incident number 2, first activity, last activity, create time. These are all the entities involved. These are the security instance, tactics it has fetched, the MITRE application, tactic and technique, right? Alert product names, Azure Sentinel, alerts count, bookmark, authentication method used for, like everything it is clubbing together, and this incident is marked as low severity but indicates potential credential access attempts. The involved IPs have suspicious reputation score, suggesting it may be a part of malicious activity. MFA is enabled for the user, adding an extra layer of security. No managed device associated. And for more detail, you can get to this place. So this is all what it has done just with the creation of the SEO in place. So to generate this part will take a couple of days. This investigation takes sometimes for the security operations center analyst if it is to be done manually. It is all done with just few prompts in place. And now based on this information, we'll take some action. That action is also been uh, can be done by security copilot, right? Like that. With that, I have explained you the standalone experience of Copilot for security as well. Let me just get back to my slide deck too. So this was the demo setting up Copilot for security with Sentinel, standard experience investigating an incident or Sentinel incident in Copilot for security, right? Now I have jotted down few of the important links which might help you in your Copilot for security journey. The very first one is Copilot for security GitHub link, right? So just get to it. Here we have different levels L100 to L400 for Copilot for security, which you can go through and explore. And this is for your own reference, right? In similar lines, prompt library. As I told you, prompt is very important. Whenever there's any AI tool discussion which we are doing or Copilot for security specifically, they're all centered around prompts. When you know which prompt to execute next, you can create your own prompt because we have observed the prompt book in while investigating an incident in Sentinel, right? So this particular link comprises of all the basic prompt to start with, right? If you don't have much exposure in prompts, then you need some starting point. So this is the point where you can get through some of the prompts to select incident summary, what prompts you can use, incident details and entities if you want. You can use this prompt extract entities as well with entity. User specific incidents if you want to check users, you can use these prompts like that. Create alerts and vulnerability related prompts list the alerts and central incident type. If I just tend to use it. Incident ID one I will take. Okay. So I just pasted that prompt from the prompt library, like check the list the alerts on central incident. It will check whether the source integration is there or not. It will process your request and preparing your request, so it will just process it. There are chances when it is not able to process. It says due to high limited capacity now it will not be able to process. We need high or more competition, right? So the incident handle one is focusing on the security event log create. So then when which I just gave you a quick walkthrough from the Windows perspective, right? 1102 ID. It is giving me the alerts, associated alerts. So it is giving me details. You can go to the portal to get more incident related information, right? Like that. So you can frame more prompts around it to how check how to respond, etc. Right? So that's how I leverage the prompt library there. So you can explore. So list all central workspaces. So let's try to see how does what it gives. By default, it should give CFS law. That's the only workspace I have as of now. But in case if I have multiple workspaces, it will list them all. But specifically, it is looking for central instances, right? Central workspace, which means the workspace where on which Central is onboarded. So that's how it works. Even if you have 5 or 10 workspaces, but only 5 are onboard used to onboard Central, then those 5 will be listed here, right? So like that. So it will give me in tabular format. So subscription ID is equal to the workspace name like that. So next in the list of important links is Security Copilot Blog, managed by Rod Trent. Rod Trent is an industry veteran who tend to write blog frequently on Copilot security. As we see here, the blog goes like prompt of the day. So you see, create XPath query based on the following. Copilot security it is giving this prompt to fetch to create an XPath query. So it gave an input of security log this, system log this, power log, PowerShell log this, and then these are the various input which it has given, and it is asking us to create a XPath query like this. So it has generated the XPath query. It is a standalone experience where it is used. So these are the blogs which you can refer. It is updated every day. So we have prompt for every day. Copilot security prompt of the day like that. Copilot security prompt of the day. Every day it is posted. You can go and check. Like here you see prompt of the day. Can you help me configure Windows Defender Firewall with advanced security settings? So it says to configure Defender Firewall with advanced security on the Windows platform, you can follow these. Open the Windows Defender Firewall with advanced security like KPD, start WF, MSC, and press like this. So it will give you all the steps. So it's trying to make us aware how we can use it to next level. So that's how we enhance our prompting capability, right? But it does go beyond it. Now, apart from that, I've recorded a demo on which is posted on LinkedIn. This is a 6 minutes demo which will guide you through how you can investigate an infantile incident using the standard experience. So as of now, how we did write the similar lines, but it is mostly on centered on the keyword one, right? So you can check the 6 minute video on my website, LinkedIn. So with that, I come to an end. I hope you got a good understanding on Copilot for security. Why? What is Copilot for security? Why we need Copilot for security? How we can fight with adversarial tactics techniques at the scale of a machine um, by using Copilot for security, right? What are the different experiences it has to offer? What are the security solutions native to Microsoft in the context like Sentinel, Entra, ID Defender, XDR? How we can integrate it? How we can uh, make benefit of it by integrating it? How we can take a step ahead after the integration? It's not just the integration part, but I have walked you through how we can make most out of it after the integration, what we can do after the integration, right? How we can leverage a prompt or how we can leverage a complete prompt book, right? So I hope you have got a good understanding around. I really thanks Dwayne Nutfield for giving me this opportunity to bring out Copilot for security for a broader audience like you. Stay tuned. Thank you. Hello everyone.